Guys, we'll get started in just a second. Just getting set up here. All right, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Chris says, what are we talking about today? Whatever you want, buddy. Just let me know. I didn't have anybody to come on today, so I'm just here to, as much as I hate this expression, let you pick my brain. All right, we're live on Facebook, YouTube. Tomislav says, hello, hello, hello. Hello, Tomislav. Amber says, hi. Hi, Amber. Glad you could make it today. Literally nobody is watching on Instagram, but that's okay. Christopher on YouTube says, question with links. How important is content relevancy? Like, can a link just appear on any text? Is a link in relevant text better? Relevance is better, but it's not necessary. You're going to, a link to a guitar site on another guitar site is going to pass on some relevance, but you can get power from links without relevance. So power is probably more important than relevance. Louis says, how do you build a community? When we build a community around parents, for example. So this is a good question. I'm going to assume that you mean like a Facebook community. The first thing you want to do, obviously, once you get it physically created, not physically, but, created, then you need to start getting the word out, whether that's doing paid advertising, email, if you have a list. If you already have a customer base, that's great. If not, you're probably going to have to do some content, some YouTube videos and drive them back to your Facebook group. You can do what I call content looping, which is where you put content and then use a tool called Sniply to drive them back to your Facebook group. You can do blog posts and things like that. If you want to spend ads, that's going to be the quickest way. But obviously there's a cost involved with that. But otherwise, you're just going to have to create content and collect leads as best as you can. One thing that works, if you want to check out the video I made on YouTube last week, is I have a little funnel in there that gets you emails and people into a Facebook group. So there you go. So check that out. I had a course on Facebook groups too. If you want to check that out at some point, I can probably help you out with that. But the main things are, I hate this term, but providing value, putting out content and getting out the word as much as you can, and leverage every audience you have. If you have an Instagram following, drive them to there. If you have YouTube, drive them there. If you don't, start building up followings on everything and funneling them. Yeah, I mean, relevance is important. Let that be your takeaway, but power is more important. Ace said on YouTube says, does live streaming videos to rank local terms still work? I never liked that method. It might work, but they do not stick in my experience. You can live stream them. They'll rank for a few days or even less, and then they'll drop off. I prefer to do solid on page with manual uploads. That's what's worked well for me. Chris says, do you use expired domains or aged auction domains? You found much of a difference in the two. I prefer auction domains because I find that you get a better quality domain. That's not necessarily saying that auction domains don't work, because they can and they do. But I find that you can get a better domain if you go through auction. The downside is they're more expensive and it takes longer. But I prefer auction domains, and all the PBNs I use are auction domains. Isn't in power to have the content in English or German. I link to a German site. Would it make Link to a German site, would it make any difference in terms of juice and power to have? No, I don't think so. You might get a little more relevance by having the languages match up, but I don't think it would matter. The biggest risk with that is it looking not natural and potentially putting the PBN at risk. Not people here today. I guess it's a holiday weekend, so at least here in the States. Yeah, the same thing, buddy. Like the content doesn't matter as far as the ranking power, but you just put the PBN at a little more risk by not having it all in the same language. And everybody's kind of shy today. I blame Jeff. You know, it's interesting. I have 3 different cameras going, and the iPhone by far has the sharpest picture. Have I executed my kip up goal this year? No. It's funny that you mentioned that. I was thinking about that video today and how I've made real progress on all of the business goals that I put in it and no progress on the personal ones except for smiling more. But I can't do a kip up, and I've not volunteered a lot of time to charity. So I definitely need to start working on those. Fortunately, and I don't like to look at things this way, but I do still have 6 months. So, but no, I'm nowhere near being able to do a kip up yet. I have gotten in a lot better shape though, so hopefully it'll be easier. Probably not going to stay super long today. Let me go look in the group and answer some of the questions people asked the other day. And I can reveal what the secret hidden lesson in that post was. It's pretty simple, but still worth it. This is Cake Beater. It says, do you geotag all of your images for SEO? No, the only ones I bother with that on are the ones that we put in our Google business. And WordPress tends to strip them out of the site anyway, so that doesn't help that much. And sometimes I'll do them for citations since I already have them, but I don't necessarily do them. Kind of stiff today. Let's see if I can't find. Louis says, I guess ask what your audience wants. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to get into, and I assume we're still talking about building a community, if you're going to get into that, you're going to want to know the industry or niche, whatever you want to call it, as best as you can and try to figure out what they want. But yeah, I mean, definitely figure out what they want and know what your audience wants. So you can ask or you can kind of know. And you kind of need to set yourself up as the authority. So, but in a friendly way, like don't be the bossy authority. I mean, authority like person who knows what they're talking about. Like I am on very, very few topics. Just kidding. Let's see. Rajesh says, hey, Chris, in one video, you lightly mentioned about ranking of Amazon products within Maine. Can you explain a bit more about it, its process and prospects? It's funny you ask because the person 2 comments below you is Kirill, and he's the one that knows how to do it. I don't really know how to do it. I've messed with it, but not enough to give you a solid answer. But if you scroll down a couple questions and ask Kirill, he can help you out with that. Ron says, are you finding any new techniques with voice search? I haven't had much time to play with it. As far as I can tell, the Google Home just pulls local results from maps. So right now, just focus on ranking in maps and do that other top secret thing. Louis says I'm running a contest, but Facebook kind of shut down my DS. I'm not sure what DS is. I wouldn't worry about those viral contests anyway. They never worked well for me. Let me back up. They work in terms of I collected a lot of leads, but they were really poor quality leads, and like they would never buy anything and they would never interact. They were just there for whatever the contest was. So that's a way to increase your vanity number, but it won't really help that much. Oh, you mean within Amazon, Rajesh? I don't know. I don't know how. I would think that it's sales, reviews, and click and search traffic. Oh, they shut down your ads? Yeah, they do that sometimes. You'll have to figure out what they didn't like. Get some people coming on Instagram now. Christopher says, question, do you typically always buy or get links for every post or article, or does it just depend on if you want it to rank? Do you at least suggest doing social signals to every post or just natural? No, sometimes I just make a post just to fill out a site or to add more information or something like that. I still optimize it for SEO, but no, I don't link build to every single post. Unless it's like an affiliate site where I'm trying to rank every single post, then I generally do. Yeah, they can be real strict about your ads. So just figure out if you're doing affiliate or any kind of conversions, just keep it simple. Rajesh says, ranking a local business page within local site. Example, ranking Yelp page within Yelp. Optimize the page, the citation, the Yelp or whatever, as well as you can. So figure out what you want to rank within Yelp for and optimize it for that. Fill out all the description, the title, the URL, all that stuff. That will help a lot. And each one is different, unfortunately, but in any of them, that's going to work. And that'll help it rank in Google as well. Doug says, love the new profile pic. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Trying to class the joint up a little bit. Let's see. Tools. What is everyone using for what? My favorite tools for SEO are SERP and Ahrefs and Majestic. As far as like link building tools, I don't really use any, although I do use Cinewire, I guess. For other things, I use ClickFunnels a good bit. That's about it. I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but that's what's coming to mind. Cake Beater says, is a good way you get backlinks? I don't understand the question, man. Can you rephrase it a little bit? Lloyd says, how local landmark driving directions help not only creating local relevance for our local websites, but the benefits of helping rank or develop my business. Okay, so you're probably talking about that map, technique that I showed a little bit. A little bit ago. And the way that helps is it helps Google figure out where, I don't know how to explain it. It creates relevance in that it understands that in that city that you are that thing. That's not a very good explanation, but it's kind of framing it and creating like a picture of what types of businesses there are in that city or whatever location. And it kind of gives it that. If you ask, I'm not explaining it as well as I want to, but if you ask in the group, Robbie can explain it a little better than I can. But basically, you're explaining that if anybody is at one of those other locations and they want your type of business, that these are the directions to it, so that must be what you want. So I hope that makes sense. I know it's not a great explanation. I've got a comment on Instagram that says, you Sotori Mai. Okay, I don't understand that. Christopher says, have you played with Google Guaranteed? Saw OMG promoting this, but it's not available in my area. I'm not familiar with it, so no. Cake Beater says, is there an easy way to get backlinks to your site or just request them? I mean, you can go out and manually build them, profile links, Web 2.0, social profiles, citations, things like that. And you can also buy them or build them yourself. That's kind of a broad question. If there's a specific type of link you want to know about, I could probably answer that a little better. Mark says, where do bees go in the winter? North. I don't really know if that's true, but I was going to make a bee pun, but I decided against it. All right. Sorry, Facebook is being complicated today. Todd says, I'd love some insight into your SOPs. I wish I had some. Or anything on client SEO at scale. The key to scale is to come up with a repeatable process where you can just stamp it out like a widget. So you know that when you onboard someone, you do A, B, C, and D, and you just do it. I guess that's kind of an SOP in itself, but basically a process where you can just feed them in one side and get the results out the other. Louis says how to build a community. We already answered that. Gary says schema. I need more specifics on that. Ratno says how to grow a Facebook group without using paid ads. We kind of covered that a bit, but it's mostly about putting out content and getting your name out there and linking back to your Facebook group at every opportunity. And if you have a customer list of any kind, you can really drive them to it. But you can post in forums, get in other groups and answer questions, things like that. That's going to be really slow, but it does work. And once you get up to about 1,000 members, Facebook starts suggesting it and it'll snowball on its own. That's what's worked well for my Superstar SEO group. Marcus says, I would like to know about the importance of page speed. Which testing tools are best? Testing tool, definitely GTmetrix. Why the Google page speed insights give a different result than Pingdom or GTmetrix? They all just use different algorithms, kind of like the difference between Yahoo, Bing, Google, so on. How important of a role does hosting play? Hosting is very important. You definitely want to get good hosting or none of the other stuff you do will matter. And what point is trying to get a perfect score on the tools overkill? Think about the individual steps the tools want you to do and if they make sense to do it. Some of the things they suggest don't make sense to change. So just kind of use a little bit of I hate to say common sense, but common sense on that and you should be okay. Aaron says last week's AMA was the best yet, was specific to one niche and I got a lot out of it. Oh, well, thank you. Scott was really great. I agree. I enjoyed that one a lot too. And he's going to be back soon. So, but today you just get me. Latesh says how to deal with your first SEO client saying about your age below 18 and you have no experience. How to get your first client step by step. Okay, so don't let the age phase you. First of all, if they're questioning you like that, you don't want them as a client in the first place, so move on to the next one. But just establish yourself as an authority. Don't think about your age. Present yourself as what you can do. Look at Yasher. He's like 14 or something, and he's well known in SEO. So just communicate what you can do, be confident, and learn how to sell. If you learn those things, then you won't have to worry about your age, unless there's legal reasons that you do. How to get your first client step by step, learn how to sell. That's more important than anything else. So that's like a whole topic in itself, but definitely learn how to sell or nothing else matters. Sales solves everything. I can't believe I say things like that now, but I do. Christopher says, do you know if there is an easy way to target Facebook group, Facebook ads? Unfortunately, they don't have an objective to that. What you can do, though, is if it's a group you control, you can go in as your page and post a video, like directly to Facebook, and then run ads to anyone that watched the video for X amount of time. But unfortunately, they don't let you post directly to a group right now. Or I mean, run ads directly to a group right now. I wish they did. That would be huge for me. But no, there's no direct way. And any way you do it is going to be kind of a hack. And it's just not going to get you the results you want. I don't know why they don't have that. They can target everything else, but I've read that they might start adding. I read that they might also start putting ads in groups. Like you'll actually see ads within a group, but we'll see. Malik says local SEO and Google Maps ranking. You're going to have to be more specific, man. All right, back on the live stream. Wow, we got backed up. Ron says, I know you hate this type of question, but what's going on? 1 minute, guys. Technical difficulties. If I'm frozen on Facebook, let me know. It's showing frozen for me, but maybe it's not for you. Man, live streaming is a pain. I know you hate this. This is Ron. Says, I know you hate this type of question, but how many map embeds should I use for high competition Google Maps? Should I use custom Google My Maps or my GMB listing? I don't know. I would do like no more than 25 or 50. Not because doing more will hurt, but diminishing returns. I do it on your GMB listing. I don't embed the custom maps. I don't find much benefit to that. Kirill says, do you know how are these SEO people who claim to make hundreds of thousands a month handle and manage all their clients? Are they really doing it all themselves? The key is to get a repeatable process, but some of them are definitely lying that they do everything themselves. You can probably scale up to 50 or 60 clients on your own, as long as you get a good process in place where you know exactly what you're going to do when you onboard someone. But no, I mean, I don't think that it's feasible to build every link and do everything yourself. I don't think it's possible. There's one person that claims to make right around $1 million a month from client SEO, and I absolutely know he was using people. I am not dropping names or anything like that, but yeah. Jamie says, is it a good idea to add a 500 to 600 word article to the comment section of the image details when optimizing images for Google My Business, etc.? I have 1,000 properly spun articles, so was going to use a fresh one on each of my 40 images. I asked on the group, but no one answered. I haven't done it. I would think it probably wouldn't help much, but I would test it and see what happens. I don't think it'll do any harm. So personally, I think it's overkill, though. Louis says, if you use YouTube, how do you get traffic? The key to getting traffic on YouTube is first consistency. Figure out how many days a week you can regularly upload and upload on those days. This is something I'm not great at. And then clickbaity type headlines that will get people to click, and thumbnails that will get people to click, and then content enough to keep them viewing so that YouTube will start suggesting it. The key to getting suggested by YouTube, which is going to be your biggest YouTube traffic source, more so than search, is to get watch time. So get people to click on your video and get them to stay, even if you have to bribe something at the end or something like that. But as you do that, YouTube will start suggesting it. You'll get more subscribers and it'll grow on its own. So consistency, clickbait thumbnails, and clickbait headlines. Ron says, do you use Cloudflare Argo? Have you seen a difference in response time? I do use Cloudflare, but I don't know what Argo is. So if I do, I don't know it because Jim and my other web devs handle that stuff. Joaquin said, Joaquin, every week I get your name different. And Amber say not frozen. Well, that's good. It is for me, which is weird because I'm like this in my particular one. For anyone that missed it, it was like this. So, Christopher says, can you talk a bit about GDPR? Oh, God. I'm so tired of hearing about this. How are you implementing that in your businesses? I see a lot of people with automatic cleaning their email lists because of this. Should we bother if we only use USA? Preface, I'm not a legal expert. I've just done what people that are have told me, but definitely use it as a chance to clean your email list and get them to re-opt in. That's just good email practice anyway. If you use cookies on your site, you definitely need to notify them that you're using cookies and get like a pop-up, or just block EU traffic altogether. That's about it as far as I can tell you. Make sure that they consent to getting their data collected. And consent means that they have to agree before they subscribe. That's about it. If you're in the US and you don't do anything that specifically targets the EU, you should be good. That means if somebody from the EU stumbles on your site, you're okay. If you're optimizing into that language or running ads from that, then you have to worry about it. And again, I could be completely wrong on all of that, so don't take my word for it. Jeff says, Ron, Argo is only really worth it if you have a lot of traffic. Superfly Dude says, did you wait until the income from your SEO business was more than your day job for quitting, or did you leave your day job before that? It was definitely more. It wasn't where I wanted to be. I quit sooner than I intended to because some things were happening there that I didn't like. But basically, I was doing okay with SEO. I decided I was going to quit. So I knuckled down and got, in about 90 days, I replaced my income from my job with client SEO, and then I had my services and other things on top of it. So I did make more, but I wasn't as comfortable as I wanted to be. But it was time to go for it. So I did. So the answer is technically yes, but not really. All right, we're caught up on questions. I'm going to get a drink. If you want more details on any of these questions, just check out Superstar Academy, superstarseo.com/trial. Get you a $1 trial for 14 days. If you don't like it, you just cancel. Literally no risk except for, buying some bubble gum at the store or whatever bubble gum costs. Doug says, we are launching another company. Congratulations. Not asking for advice. Can you talk about how you are structuring your stuff? LLC, S Corp, C Corp. Okay, so again, not advice. Want to throw that out there, but I have 2 separate legal entities in Legiit and in Superstar SEO. And I'm about to create those are both LLCs, or kind of, not exactly. Again, I'm not great with this stuff. I have people that handle it, but I'm going to create a holding company for the 2 of them, though. Both my attorney and my accountant have said that that's the way to go. So it'll be one umbrella company over the 2, and then a couple other companies I'm going to be launching soon. So it'll be I haven't come up with a name, but it'll be under my own personal name to some extent, like Holdings or something like that. But if it's for just a basic SEO agency, then an LLC and I think it's an S Corp are probably fine. Elishama says, how many clients did it take before you made enough to leave your job? I was making about 30 to 35 grand a year, and most of my clients were in the $2,000 range. I think I had 12 or 15. I don't know exactly. Somewhere between 10 and 15, I'd say. But that was just enough to feel comfortable because I was going to say crappy, but that's not accurate. I had some low-end clients from when I first started in that mix too. So if you want a better answer to that, the safest thing to do would be to be making twice your income. That way you can have a bad month and you're still able to eat. And also keep your personal expenses as low as possible. But if I was going to advise someone on how to do it, it would be to have double your income so you can do that. So Christopher says, you mind sharing any tips on Facebook ads, like the targeting demographic side? If you have access to anything you can retarget, do that. If not, magazines and associations and things like that. So that's a good example. If you're doing SEO or internet marketing, target like ClickFunnels or Digital Marketer, but basically big names, magazines, and agent or I lost my train of thought. Big establishments, not businesses, but if you're looking for dentists, then dental organizations, dental unions, things like that. As far as interest targeting is not my favorite way of running ads, but if you got to get traffic in the first place, that's where I would start. Geo says, can I do SEO target by particular part of a zip code to buy precise 10 block radius? You do SEO target by particular part. Can you clear that up a little bit? SEO target by particular. So if you're wanting to rank for a particular zip code, then absolutely, those are easy to pick off. But I don't know how you would rank unless you're talking maps. But can you maybe clear up the question and I can give you a bit better of an answer? Louis says, do you use LinkedIn to get clients? If so, what's your process? I did back in the day, yeah. The process is to be really, really soft about it. If you connect with them and immediately go, hey, I'm an SEO and blah, 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 they hate that. Post a lot of content on LinkedIn. And if you get something that appeals to that specific niche, if you want to go after photographers, then say, hey, I thought you might be interested in this. Nothing else. Just warm them up. It's really, really important to warm them up. So there you go. Asum says, sorry if my question sounds silly. You accept articles in foreign languages on your own PBNs at Legiit. Would that not put your own PBNs at risk? Would it be safer to keep the articles I send in English and link to the German site using its URL? I mean, technically it is safer, but it should be fine. I've got some with foreign language on it. It's never been a problem. It's not ideal, but it's only a problem. It itself is not going to get you in trouble. If you got manual review and they found that, then you would probably have a higher chance of getting your site de-indexed, but it's not that big a deal. But if you're wanting to be as absolute safe as possible, then English is probably the best way to go. But either way is fine. So the only reason it puts you more at risk is because if you get a manual review, it doesn't look natural to have different languages on the same site. I'm gonna refresh. I got a bit of a headache today. I've had a rough week, I'm not gonna lie. Still frozen. Let's try this. I'm kind of caught up on questions, so it'll give me a chance to refresh the screen and hope that helps. Nobody on Instagram yet. I mean, there are people watching, but no questions. If you want to follow me on Instagram, check out chrismwalker.blog. It's your cheap plug for the moment. And now I'm unfrozen. Yay. Nobody on Instagram yet. I mean, there are people watching, but... Ron says, Majestic shows homepage links percentage. I'm at 10% now from PBNs. Is there a percentage you would stay below? Check out your competition and just do what they do. But 10 is probably good. I wouldn't go much higher than that. And I'm assuming you're talking about keyword anchors. So if you are, then yeah, I wouldn't go much higher than that. Asim says, thanks for the answer. Got it. May I ask how you keep your work-life balance? Not as well as I should. I've never been very social. That's not true. In my 20s, I was. I'm not so much anymore. And a lot of my friends have moved away, so I don't have a lot. But lately, I'm forcing myself to go work out. I'm going out more often. I'm going to concerts and stuff. But I don't know. I really like what I do, so it doesn't feel like work a lot of the time. But at the same time, I know it's not healthy to work all the time. If you're struggling with it, then just force yourself to do other things. Go to a movie, go see some friends, that sort of thing. I've been, like I said, going out pretty much every weekend, although I'm not this weekend because the holiday, there's a thing that happens here on Memorial Weekend that makes it hard to get anywhere, and I'll leave it at that. But I don't know, you just got to figure out a time to do the things that you like to do and just make sure that you do them, even if it means a task doesn't get done until the next day. So just taking care of yourself is important, and it's something I've been forcing myself to do more of, and I think you should too. I think you'll be happier because there's no point in being the richest dead person. You know what I mean? You don't want to be the richest guy in the funeral or the graveyard. So enjoy your life, kill it during the day, go have some fun at night. I know that's not very specific, and it's not specific because it's not my greatest strength, but definitely I agree with you. You need to work on it. So just find time to do other things, basically. So that probably wasn't much help, but it's the best I got for you. It's like we're caught up again. A lot of people here, though. Plus, I didn't really advertise this as much as usual. Like I said, I've had a hectic week. So that said, here we go. Welcome says, I'm having so much trouble, so much difficulties balancing private life and work. The wife and kids suffer often, I'm afraid. Yeah, that's an advantage for me as I'm not neglecting anybody, except maybe my family, but I talk to them fairly regularly. But definitely make them a priority. Make them understand that the work that you do is for them. But I think that, an hour a day with your kids and with your wife is probably enough for them. Do you know what I mean? And that will make them that'll show them that they're a priority, that being with them is a priority. And that'll probably be enough. So just kind of block out that time. If it means getting up an hour earlier or staying up an hour later or something like that, just find an hour to spend with your wife and with your kids. And I think that that'll be enough to make them feel appreciated and do that. Again, I don't have a wife or children. I have in the past. Well, not children. I've had a wife in the past. And I think that that's one of the keys to successful relationships. But again, take that with my credibility. So any big changes coming to Legiit? Yes. I don't want to get into too much detail because then people will start asking me when, but we got some cool features that will help sellers make more sales and will help buyers pick better sellers. So no, actually the site's not down often. It was down one day and 1 hour on one other day. It's been down a total of about 5 hours in the 4 months we've been up. So no, we don't. The site does not seem to be down often. Do you put disclaimers in your client contracts? And this is from Astrodin. Do you put disclaimers in your client contracts and do they hold if you had an issue? I don't use client contracts. We are caught up. But yeah, Christopher, there are some cool things that we're doing. And we actually started cleaning up the messaging system. So check that out. A lot of people were complaining about that with good cause. But we've already made some improvements to that. We've made some improvements to the email templates. The site does not go down often, though. So, and then we'll have some features to make it easier for people to make some sales and to identify good sales, and a lot going to come out in the coming months. And we've only been around for about 3 months, and we're doing really well, I think. So we're caught up on questions again. I feel like I blew over that last question. No, I don't use contracts. I work on a month-to-month basis. I don't even know what I call it, but I have a document that explains exactly what I'm going to do. So I have documentation of it. But that's what we do. Contracts I don't like because I don't want to work with someone that doesn't want to work with me, and I don't want to work with someone I don't want to work with. So I find it better to do it on a month-to-month basis. Christopher says, regarding AdWords, do you think paying $10 to $20 per click is a wise investment for web and SEO work? No, that's way too much. I know this is a tough question. I just have been avoiding those kinds of numbers, high competition. I would not pay that much for a click because you're going to get a lot of tire kickers for that particular industry, especially with SEO. And if you're doing it for SEO keywords, you're going to get a lot of, I was going to use a bad word. You're going to get a lot of, for lack of a better word, competitors that are going to click on your ad just to cost you some money. So no, I wouldn't do it for SEO, maybe for web design, but you'd have to be charging a lot. Like to justify those kinds of clicks, you're probably going to need $4,000 or $5,000 per job, I would think. AdWords isn't my favorite platform. YouTube ads are super powerful, but AdWords, like as far as like keyword AdWords, I don't really care for it that much. Welcome says, sorry if this question has been answered before. Even if it is, that's okay. Do you do all the SEO work for your clients or yourself, or what? Or do you outsource most of it? What percentage do you outsource? In the beginning, I did everything myself because I didn't have the money to have a staff. Now, I don't know what percentage, but very little of it myself. I'm offering I actually got the members area built and everything now. I'm going to start offering kind of a done for you SEO. I don't want to call it that, but a monthly SEO service for SEOs. So I've added, my point in telling that story is I've added a lot of staff and they're handling my SEO as well. So I do almost none of it now. But that said, when you get it from me, you're getting it. it's still me doing it because they're doing exactly what I've told them to do. But so 0 is the answer now, but I didn't get there as fast as I should have. It went from 100% to 80% to like 30% and now 0. How much staff do you have? I have one guy that manages my entire services business, both fulfillment and like delivery, I guess. He does an amazing job on that. He does better on it than I did. I'll leave it at that. I have 2 support people. I just brought on a new one this week. I'm forgetting somebody. I'm sorry for whoever that is. Oh, I have someone that helps me like do quality control on Legiit, and he also helps me with some other tasks. I think he's actually on right now. And I have the staff to do my SEO work, which is like 3 people. So was that 6 or 7? So I guess that's pretty good. That's pretty amazing now that I say it out loud because, wow. And then, there are partners that also have staff. Like Jim is my partner and he has staff as well. Are those VAs from abroad or US people? Both. My head of support as well as assistant is American, lives in the States. Then the development staff on Legiit is all in the States. Everybody else lives elsewhere. I have one in the Philippines and one in Serbia, one in Egypt, and actually a few in Serbia. So hopefully that answers that. If you're asking about outsourcing in general, do it sooner than I did, but don't do it too soon and do it for the right reason. The right reason is so you can scale. The wrong reason is because you don't want to do it. I have a friend who will remain nameless, but you all know him. I think he over outsources and doesn't do much of the work himself. So could be wrong about that, but that's just my take on what I know about his business. That's okay, Christopher. I was probably a little cheeky about that. I apologize. We took it down for maintenance the other night because we were upgrading the server. That took about 2 hours or an hour and a half. And then we had that one big issue. So that's the main downtime we've had. If you've seen other ones, it's been to the point where our I lost my train of thought again. It's been to the point where our logs didn't even catch it. So, oh wow, 3 months is right. It seems like it's longer. Yeah, tell me about it. Well, it's because I talked about it for like 6 months leading up to it too. I love it so far. Thank you. I get defensive when I talk about it because I'm so proud of it. And we're talking about Legiit right now, by the way. I'm just so proud of it, and I've put so much money and time into it, and put a lot of my own reputation on the line for it. And it didn't end up working out that way, but I also risked a relationship with a mentor and friend of mine by starting it. So it's the number one goal in my life and my business is to make it better. So I do get a little testy when when people criticize, not that you were, but so if that's any of you, I apologize for that. So, and it's that other thing that you mentioned. I actually turned it into a giant sales page for Legiit, at least my portion of it. So if you want a good laugh, go check that out. I'm not going to mention it by name, but go check out my page on that and you'll probably get a good chuckle out of that. Few people watching on Instagram, but nobody's talking. That's okay. I wouldn't watch this long on Instagram either. I need to shave. Wow. Sorry, random thoughts. Sometimes things just go right out of my head, right from my head to my mouth. All right, guys. Questions are kind of dying down. I know it's a holiday weekend here in the States. So if we don't have anything else, we'll start wrapping up. But if not, I'm here for you. Do me a favor. If you're not in Superstar Academy, check it out. We've got some great testimonials and I hope you don't mind me naming you by name, but we got from Amber and from Randy and from Aaron. They've all had really, really good success, and Those are just off the top of my head. The testimonials have been great. It's $1. I mean, what have you got to lose? Literally, like I spend $1 a day on more than $1 a day on water. So, Welcome says, Chris, am I allowed to show this webinar? Is it recorded? To a friend of mine who is also an SEO. Want to show him how much value you offer in your academy and Legiit? Of course, man. I want as many people to be here as possible. I'd definitely show them. You can either have them join the group. It'll automatically show up there, and it's going to be on YouTube as well. So definitely, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that. I'm very emotional today. I don't know what it is, but I really do appreciate that. Ron says, thanks, Chris. Thanks, Ron. I'm going to start, by the way, Ron, I'm going to start tagging myself in my posts more often just so you can get a good laugh. Elishama says, do you have niche sites before, and what was your experience? Yeah, that's actually how I got started, was affiliate sites. Some of them that I've shown publicly are getridofcable.net, which is all up now. But I did pretty well with that. I have how to lose fupa after pregnancy. That one still makes me a few bucks here and there. I haven't monetized it. Make really big things. That's probably what I would do, because to one, it's more interesting because you get to talk about cool stuff that you're interested in. So basically combine your interest along with your desire to get paid. And don't limit yourself just to SEO. Like I hate how overabused this is, but find like funnels and create funnels and run some paid traffic to some offers and build your community from that too. And that's another way of creating a niche site. Maybe create a membership or something. That's really fun to me. Like I actually am working on one that I can't reveal publicly because people will screw it up, but it's in a totally non-marketing, non-health niche. It's something that's just fun for me. So definitely, I love niche sites. I wish I had time to do more. Kirill says, I'm hoping to explode here soon. I hope not. I like having you in the community. Oh, you don't mean literally. Okay. Kirill says, SEO community you can think of. And I'm trying, much like I'm doing with Legiit, I'm trying to take the lessons I've learned being in these areas and communities and improve upon them. I know there's always room. And one of the things I always hated was you buy a product and it's abandoned. So that's why I'm active with the site reviews and all that stuff. And I don't know, Becker makes fun of people that say this, but for me, it's true. I really do enjoy helping people and making the world a better place. Like, it's just part of my core beliefs. It's a right livelihood. So you can look that up if you're not familiar with it, but right intention and right livelihood are important to me. So thank you. Is this video publicly available on YouTube? Yep. You can check out my channel at superstarseo.tv, and it's being live streamed right there now. And then once it's over, it'll be uploaded to it. Robbie says, congratulations on the new messaging system. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's still got a couple things we need to work, but it's light years better than it was. Jim and his team, like, big shout out to them. The reason I partnered with him is because he shares my values, and we share each other's values. And yeah, they're doing a great job. And now we have a better system in place on what we're going to do A, B, C, and D. And we're going to do our best to put somebody else out of business. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I see it's like $49 a month. But I think there's people on Legiit, like one article done, they'll just spin it for you. So for like $3 or $5 or something. And if you're looking for more stuff to sell, that's a good way to buy the tool for yourself and then cover the payments by doing it. That's one of the things I did in the beginning was that's how I got paid for SynWire. I paid for GSA, all through selling the use of it to other people while still having the benefit of using it for myself. So there's a tip for anybody that's wanting to grow their service business or just make some extra cash. Find a tool that you need, sell what it does to cover the cost of it, and use it for yourself. So that I don't see enough people on gig sites. I can't believe I just said that. On job sites like that, doing that. So that's a good tip for you there. Word AI. Favorite link building tool? I'm not real big on tools, but SynWire is probably my favorite. Jeff swears by Easy Backlinks, SEO Autopilot, and Money Robot though. So I might grab one of those just so I can, excuse me, so I can be familiar with them too. Because I get a lot of questions about them because Jeff teaches them in the course. Jeff does a great job teaching in the course. You can check it out for $1. But my favorite one is Sendwire. His are Money Robot and Easy Backlinks. I think it's like easybacklinks.com or something. If you've been around SEO for a while, you might remember a tool called Magic Submitter. Easy Backlinks is created by the same guy that created Magic Submitter. So Alexander Kroilik, I believe is his name. I really need to stop name dropping so often. I know that's probably irritating. All right, guys, what else you got for me? I love doing these sessions. This is I look forward to this all week because it's like, I don't look forward to weekends, but like this is the beginning of my weekend. I love interacting, which is funny because story time, since we don't have any questions. I worked at Circuit City for 5 years, and when I was interviewing this guy named Craig, he's still a good friend of mine, he asked me what department I wanted to work in. And I told him I wanted to work in the warehouse because I don't like dealing with people. I said that word for word to him, and I meant it at the time. That was show my age here, but that was in 2001. And I literally told him I didn't like working for people. Funny thing is, that's what got me that job. And I ended up working there for 5 years and making friends that I still have to this day. But he was so refreshed by the fact that I said I didn't like working with people that he hired me for that, for my honesty. And it's changed a lot since then. So Welcome says, I like the personal touch of name dropping. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I just feel like I'm doing the internet marketer thing where, whatever, but thank you. Ilishama says, where can I find Jeff's course you just mentioned? Jeff is Jeff Cozio. He's the SEO, the head SEO coach in my course, Superstar SEO Academy, which is linked right there on the screen. And I guess I should drop it in a comment too. If you want to check it out, it's $1 for the first 2 weeks. It's not for you, you cancel. If you like it, you stick around and you beat everybody else. Oh, man. I've had 3 careers. 2 of them have been computer-based, and I still cannot type for crap. So, welcome. By the way, you're the only person who can pronounce my name in 20 different ways. If you tell me what it is, like if you can tell me exactly how to pronounce it, I'll never get it wrong again. But I know I do. Every time I say your name, I say it differently. I hate that because it's always annoyed me when people get names wrong. I had since it seems to be story time today, I had a professor in college, a computer programming professor. I'm murdering your name too? Oh, man. I'm trying so hard. Is it Elishama? I'm just saying it phonetically. If you tell me what it is, I'll get it right from now on. Anyway, I had a professor in college, really, really good computer programming professor, whose name was Mr. Roger, the least personable person I've ever met in my life, but brilliant programmer. And he absolutely got what we now call triggered when somebody would call him Mr. Rogers. And there was this one girl that literally, no matter how many times he corrected her, called him Mr. Rogers. And it always irritated me that she wouldn't fix it. So that's why it's important to me. So I got it right that time. Elishama, is that right? All right. YouTube's kind of quiet. Instagram as well. But yeah, anyway, the course I was talking about is Jeff and I are the main teachers in it. We may bring on somebody to teach some guest lessons or something, but it's right there on the screen, superstarseo.com/trial. $1 for the first 14 days. And then you also get a ton of bonuses. I'm pitching right now, so please forgive me, but you're going to get a ton of bonuses. You're going to get my consulting for agency pros course. You get Legiit freelancing mastery, Superstar Maps mastery, Superstar local video mastery. And I do site reviews every single day in the group. So even if you want to get in for 2 weeks and get your site reviewed, totally worth it. So, I mean, literally there's literally no risk. If you want your $1 back, I'll do that too. So there you go. But I'm going to point it out again because the more I point it out, the more self-aware I'm going to be about it. I say so probably 700 times a day. So I'm trying to cut that down. So keep an eye out for that. All right. You pronounce the J like the J in yo. You pronounce the CH as the J in the Spanish name Jose, and not like the way you American people pronounce it. So not Jose. So it's the J like yo. So yo. I'm going to have to reread that. Yohim? Yohim? If I'm getting closer, let me know. But yeah. We're out of questions again, so I'm going to start babbling if somebody doesn't say something. Otherwise, we're going to wrap up. Yohim. Yohim. How's Yohim sound? Am I in the ballpark? This is great content here, right, everybody? We're literally trying to pronounce people's names. This is what you come to Superstar SEO for. Me trying to stumble my American way through pronouncing a name properly. All right, now we have an actual question. I'm sorry. For a site that has never been hit with any PBNs before, it has now all foundational links and social signals set over 3 months. What would be the safest way to start hammering it with PBN links? I mean, the link velocity and the anchor text of the first few links. Link velocity is not an issue with PBNs. You're never going to build enough PBNs to affect that. Anchor text, think of those as there's a game in the 80s called Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and like your knockout punch was your uppercut. Think of your PBNs and guest posts and the anchor text for them as your uppercut to knock out the rest of the ranking. So I like to go start right away with the keyword that I want to rank for, and then start with some LSIs. So Jeff does that differently. If you followed his training up to this point, continue to follow it. But yeah, so that's kind of what I would do. I would start with an exact match and then work in the LSIs. As far as velocity, don't worry about it though. You're never going to build more than a few PBN links in a day. So that's a drop in the internet ocean. Pronounce Jose the Spanish way. Johan is worse. Oh man, I'm getting further away. I don't know what the Spanish way for Jose is. So Tomislav says I did well with his name. Well, at least I got one of them right. Oh, Instagram stopped. Oh well. Nobody's watching anyway. I'm punchy today. Is it showing? Kirill's trying to pronounce his name also. All right, guys, if we don't have any more questions, let's go ahead and wrap up. I'll give it 2 more minutes. That's for YouTube and for Facebook. Otherwise, we'll call it a week, and I'm going to get to doing some site reviews and pumping out a couple more affiliate videos, and then I'm going to go rest because I'm still not 100%. Christopher says, I hope these kinds of things like live or info videos don't stop. Very few people I know you can constantly keep learning. Chase Renier was one of the few. He is super white hat, which is limited. Chase actually messaged me the other night about something. I'll keep you updated on that. But I don't really like his method of SEO. So we don't have a lot we could talk about together. But they will, because like I said, I enjoy doing this. I think it helps. Not only helps people indirectly, but I think it helps me too. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm not going to be completely altruistic. I think it helps build a certain amount of trust, but that's not why I do it. I like to answer questions and interact with you guys, and I think it's really fun. So they're going to continue for the foreseeable future. And by the way, if anybody has any suggested guests, let me know, and I'll try to reach out to them. Don't go crazy. Like, I'm not going to get Becker or somebody like that on, but if you have somebody that you think would add to it, definitely let me know. I like doing the guest thing too. I think that session with Scott last week was really, really helpful. So if you have any suggestions, definitely drop those off. He of the unpronounceable name says, how can I send you an audio file? You know what you can do is, if you have a microphone or if you have it on a phone, just go into Messenger and do a recording that way. And just say your name into it. Say my name. No singing. And then I'll know it. Christopher says, and congrats to keeping an affordable course and good marketplace. The courses are 500,000 is just a big investment unless you can afford it, and you never know how basic it will be. Yeah, I mean, I still have some one-off courses and some that are pretty pricey, but I think a monthly one, I want to keep that low because I want to be able to low enough that people can afford it every month without going, ugh, when they see it rebill, But I also kind of have to keep it monthly. Otherwise, it's just, I can't justify the time. You know what I mean? Like, first of all, Kajabi costs me not that it's that much, but it costs like $400 a month. But so I have to at least cover that. And then I have to pay for Jeff and Mai's time to continue to put it out. And that's not greed. I hope that doesn't come off that way, but time is money. So anyway, thank you for that. I'm glad that you're enjoying the community and the courses and everything. Marcus says, what do you charge for a site review? If you want a basic one, just hop in Academy and I'll get to yours in the 2 weeks. If you want something in depth, I would have to get more information. Yeah, Christopher, you're in Academy, I believe. So just there's a link in there. Just throw your site in that and eventually we'll get it reviewed. I'm doing one a day, although I've fallen behind this week while I wasn't feeling well, but I'm going to do 4 of them today after we get done here. So I'll be caught up in no time. But hey, Marcus, if you want something super in depth, message me and tell me what you need, and we'll go from there. Elishima, PBNs, how important are they? Can you compete without them in tough niches? You can do guest posts instead, but to me, they're still my bread and butter as far as knockout punches. So important is relevant, but I don't see why you would want to ever limit yourself. So Asim says, last question before I let you go. No hurry. But when you buy big packages from other vendors, Hatred, Malinat, 25 links over 30 days, how do you point all of them to the same site? If yes, what would be the anchor text ratio? When I use Malinat, and you're awesome. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Asim. I appreciate that, and I will. You do the same. When I use Malinat, I use the 12 anchor text variations to build some to build some diversity. So that's how I do that. I don't use any keyword anchors with those. I prefer to All right, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because I'm hungry. Days, I mean, I don't know what else to say. If you get that $1 could lead to one client, then it pays itself off 1,000 times over. So check it out, superstarseo.com/trial. Check me out on Facebook, superstarseo.com/Facebook, and check me out on Instagram at superstarseo. Thanks for your time. Thanks for being part of the community. Really means a lot to me. Hope you have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.